Hey everybody, welcome to Camel City Chat, and I am so excited about who my guest is. I haven't seen you in forever. It is none other than Katherine Kitty White, and everyone calls you Kitty, but I've always called you Katherine because of the fact that, are we allowed to say how long we've known each other?
Yeah, man. I was gonna pull some gems out of the memory closet.
Well, you know, I almost, and I'm in the cave, so occasionally you'll hear my my thing drowning out there. I don't know if you can hear my alarm clock. When I interviewed Nigel Alston, it was like we were having dueling grandfather clocks. But I almost pulled out the yearbook and was going to go,
Well,
look what this is. But did we?
Well, so I did the same until I realized that I accidentally donated all my yearbooks and my sister's yearbooks when I moved. It went in a box that went to Goodwill, and so I have to rely on memory to.
Have you been to yearbooks.com? They have several of our yearbooks on the internet.
Pay for that. I mean, sorry.
Next time you're in town, tell me, and we'll let you borrow mine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because so we went to McGinnis together. You were 2 years behind me. So
That's
you graduated
correct.
in 88?
Yeah.
All right. And so we're recording this after I spoke with Bo Gray, but we're going to air it before we air his interview. You're actually going to be aired this week. I think we're going to try and get you out tomorrow or Monday. So we went to McGinnis together and have many stories. Now did we have one class together or no?
What class would that have been? Like computer or something like that?
Did we have typing or something or no?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes.
All right. So I don't know. It may have been Christy Nagel I'm thinking of in that, but I know that we had some.
She was in my class, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but great time. We've been friends. Can I say friend? Are we allowed to say friends? We've been friends ever since.
You are always a friend.
Now, good, and you the same. So you know the drill. So I've made our introduction way too long. So here it goes. Where are you from, and where the heck are you now, young lady?
Well, I have to say that I am a California native. I was born in Imperial Beach, California, and lived there about 3 years. My parents split up, and my mom's parents lived in Winston-Salem. My grandfather was the airport manager of Smith Reynolds Airport. And so she moved back.
Oh my God. Do you remember the TVs where you'd put the 25
cents with the quarters?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, so the restaurant that was there, my grandfather would pick me up from school, and we'd have to go wait until we all went home. At Smith Reynolds, we had to wait on him.
Right.
And yeah, I sat in those TVs all the time. I sat in the cafe. That's like a special place for me.
Loved it. I went there. What was it? Did you do the new Winston? Didn't you?
Yeah, I did the first game.
And I loved it there. It was so weird to be back there.
Yeah.
But, all right. So native to California, but you lived in Winston.
Yeah. So we moved to Winston. I lived in Pofftown, and I was pretty much there for 47 years. I think that's right. Yeah.
And you're now in San Francisco area?
No, well, I'm in the East Bay. I live in Oakland, California.
Okay. Are you a Raiders fan?
What?
Are you a Raiders fan?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yes. You know.
So.
I'm supposed to say they probably had a rough year, right?
Man, well, no, I think they're doing okay. I mean, Chucky's our coach. They're in Las Vegas now. So, you know, I want to come back to why you're there type of thing. And then,
So, long story short.
No, wait. I want to know what's your favorite. So, question 2 is, what's your favorite place to eat in Winston-Salem? We could care less about Oakland place.
Wow, put me on the spot. It totally depends on what it is.
Name them. It's okay.
I'm going to say Slappy's Chicken.
Slappy's is good.
Because I crave that a lot.
What about when they have that pineapple upside down dessert?
Oh, yeah. And the chili. I mean, it's just a great little joint. And a lot of good people work there. And, yeah. I'm sorry, my daughter's
dog's got a chew toy.
Yeah.
No, they'll just burn you in the comments. It's okay. It's not. All right, so when you come back to Winston-Salem, what's your favorite thing to do?
So I have been back twice since I moved out here in 2018. Right. And one, let's see, it might be 3 times. but anyway, I know 2 times for sure that I recall. Um, Most recently, it was like February,
Right.
and at that time, I was going to see my sister who lived in a nursing home. She passed in March
Right.
of this year.
Yeah.
And so I would typically visit her and tried to see as many people. I'm really sorry. It's like they know.
Hmm.
It's like they know. Um, oh my God. How about if I put her outside?
You can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, can you pause it?
Well, no, I'll pause
Okay,
it.
you talk. Tell a story. Why don't you tell everybody about Bishop McGinnis and your life as a mascot?
Now, see, Bo talked about that too. Y'all don't have to bring that stuff up.
I think it's the coolest thing, John.
All right. Well, no, okay. So I don't think people understand this and why you're going, if you want to do that. So,
Okay, I'll be right back.
all right. Basically what happened is Catherine's sister graduated a couple years before me and was involved in an accident. And so one of the things that a lot of people didn't know about Katherine is that after her sister's accident, you were her primary caregiver for 30, 40 years? 30 years?
30 years. Yeah. So I was her primary caregiver. She lived in nursing homes and
Right.
different things. But after my mom died in 2008, I became her primary. And,
And your sister was in a car accident, right?
She was in 1989. Yes.
Right. That basically rendered her unable to make decisions for herself.
Yeah, she was in a coma for 9 months and went through about 3 years of rehab to where she could walk and talk again.
Mm-hmm.
And she plateaued probably around like the mid 90s and needed to be. She lived in a group home then,
right,
and worked, and then she kind of went downhill and just has been really fragile medically. And so,
but a sweet lady.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. She was very funny, very witty. She didn't lose that, but also just a rascal.
Yeah.
She loved to cuss.
As I was saying, I think did she graduate in 84?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was 2 years older than me. And, I knew her there. And then of course knew her through you with afterwards. But, so that was the story that I was telling people, is that a lot of people didn't know that about you, that you took care of your sister for a long time through, skilled care.
Yeah. Thank you for, yeah.
And thank you for doing it, because she was a good lady.
She was good.
I'm sorry she passed away. I know selfishly, when she was around, I knew that would bring you back to Winston more often to see her, because you saw her quite often when you were living here. And so, but you basically moved away.
I did. I moved away.
I did the bad thing. You followed a boy.
I followed a boy. Yeah, right. That was weird.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but everyone supported you on Facebook. I mean, it was such a great thing. It's like, I'm selling everything. I'm going. I'm doing it. You got out there. Your daughter went with you, and I mean, it was wonderful. And of course, he wasn't who you wanted him to be, and well, he wasn't who he said he was, or different things, whatever. Yeah. No fault of yours. I promise you. From what you.
Sure. I probably.
No.
Okay.
No. Not gonna get that out of me. No. It was no fault of yours. And I think the things that I've learned and loved out of this is, your pets. You just are all over your pets. The relationship, I think, with your daughter has just, even higher. And at one time you were working at a Ace Hardware,
That's right. So, long story short, 2 weeks after my fiance, who I moved out here with, got it. 2 weeks after he left, I lost my job in San Francisco. The nonprofit I worked for was doing terribly.
Right.
And they let me and another person go. And so, yeah, it was a daunting experience. I didn't, I wanted to, I called it a sabbatical. Because I wasn't ready to jump back into another nonprofit.
Right.
I got burned pretty bad by that one. And so I was like, I want to learn how to, my goal is to be a master gardener out here in California.
Okay.
So I went to work for the Ace Hardware in my town of Pacifica, where I lived for a year.
Right.
And yeah, I worked at Ace Hardware, and it was great. It was so much fun. I learned so much. I feel like I can do anything in my house now that I need to, because like
What
I
are you
learned how to fix
growing, young
toilet.
lady?
What?
What plants are you growing out there in that California state?
Well, my neighbor,
Well, your neighbor.
my neighbor grows, and I grow
I have a
plants.
cousin that grows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all about it. It's great.
Well, let's get there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you left McGinnis, graduated in 1988,
Yeah.
right? So this is the year, by the way, and correct? The big birthday, was that this year?
I turned 50, yeah, last month,
I knew,
or 2 months ago.
Once you turn 50, whenever anyone tells you that date, you know exactly how old they're getting ready to be. My neighbor's getting ready to turn 50 here where I live in Clemens, and her husband and son have told us about it, and she's like, my birthday's not this month. What are you talking about? I'm not. No.
Yeah.
So you leave McGinnis,
Mm-hmm.
and you basically start heading to where for college?
I went to UNCG.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm sad to say that I was not all that excited about college. At the time, I was not motivated.
Right.
So
I
had a good time there, though.
It's this hand. So that school, I graduated with
Mm-hmm.
2.24 in 2.6 in my core classes to get my master's degree. This school here, I graduated with a.
Is that NC State?
No.
What is it? Oh, Winston-Salem State. All right.
You know, that school I graduated with a 3.9725.
Yeah.
Two things. One, I was later in life. It was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
The other is I was paying for it.
Yeah.
So it definitely changes things. So you get what degree do you get from UNCG?
Well, I took my time trying to figure out what I want to do. I
bonus year in there too. I mean, or you
couple of them, because my sister's accident happened the beginning of my sophomore year, and so I took a year off to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And then I took a long way around. I studied library science. Teaching.
Okay.
And I ended up with a English degree with a concentration of like creative writing.
But what's crazy is creative writing with grant writing.
Totally.
English degree with grant writing, teaching degree in grants, and also membership development, and what is it? What do they call the fancy fundraising thing? Development. That's development.
Yeah, just development.
And library science and cataloging artifacts, et cetera, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, computer stuff. I had a kind of a better understanding of how a computer mind works, kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Okay. So you leave UNCG with a degree, just a short few years after you graduate from high school. And then what'd you do?
So my first job, actually, you're going to love this, and I think you might remember this, is that I worked for your family's company, Piedmont Publishing. Do you remember that?
Piedmont News Company, right?
Yeah. And I worked in the warehouse.
Right.
And they tried to put me in the office a little bit, and I wasn't a good fit. So mostly worked in the.
Right. So
I worked a lot with your dad and your brother.
Right. So now, was this in the book department or was this on the magazine line?
This was on the magazine line.
On the magazine line. All right. So I have to tell you this. So, I've been married 16 years, and we were in California, and I don't know how long ago this was, but I drove down to a magazine wholesaler, because, all the wholesalers are pretty much gone now. And he still had a tie line.
Remind me of what that is.
I pulled an order down the line.
Oh, cool.
And tied the bundle. And this was like 5 or 10 years. This is 10 years ago. And it was just so weird to do that since, we sold out in 1996.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, yeah, you worked with Ray,
Yes.
right? And my dad. Yeah.
And your dad, yeah.
Talk to
And
Dad today, 96 years old.
I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
That's amazing. He
We're
seems
hanging.
happy.
Yeah. And now Ray, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but please tell me about Ray.
Okay. So Ray passed away. It's been, I want to say 10 years ago, 15
Wow,
years ago,
okay.
maybe.
I'm sorry.
So when I was let's see, when he was 47, which would make him 9 years older than me. So that would make him 56, which would be 9 years ago. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. So I would have been, I'm sorry, let me do it the other way. 9 years younger, 47. I would have been 36. So it would have been, what, 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, folks. I don't do math well. Remember, I'm just kidding. All right. So
After that, I Piedmont Publishing Company, Piedmont News, sorry.
right.
I went to work for Piedmont Publishing. I went to work for the Winston-Salem Journal.
Right. There you go. All right.
That's what it was. Yeah. So yeah, I worked there for 7 years.
What'd you do there?
For a long time, I was one of the editors of Star Watch, which was soul death, right?
Yeah.
But I learned a ton, and I worked with some of the smartest people ever. Like I really learned my chops.
Molly from McGinnis worked for many years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She was in library. Was that?
I think she was there, and then she's also in billing. My dad would, go down and talk to her, and then she's like, "I went to school with Johnny," and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, no, it's it's keep going. Let's, as Bo said in the next episode that people can watch after this one, America's smallest large town.
Yeah. So I worked for the Journal for 7 years, and then one of my beats was this magazine called Paws, and it was about pets. And I started volunteering for Forsyth Humane Society. Then I joined their board, and I got the nonprofit fever then. So from the Journal, I went to work for the Second Harvest Food Bank with Nan Griswold, and a lot of good people. And then I went to Local Initiative Support Corporation, which was a short-lived nonprofit here in Winston-Salem that served as an intermediary between philanthropy and nonprofits doing economic development and low-income housing in Winston-Salem.
All right.
So community development corporations, a lot of faith-based.
Right.
So I worked there for 3 years. Then I went to work with Christine Jolly at AIDS Care Service. And I was there for 8 years. So many great people there. I think about...
Did they have a house or something?
Holly Haven.
Okay, so I think that at one time I went over to, what's the place that's next to the liquor store on Country Club? The
Odyssey.
The Odyssey. I went to the Odyssey and handed out condoms as working with you guys.
When was that? I vaguely remember.
20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those. It was just something you guys were doing. You guys had a table there, and you were trying to promote safe sex and our condoms. Yeah.
So that was a wonderful experience. And then after that, I went to work with New Winston Museum, and that was an interesting jump.
I never heard of that. Now, what is that?
As a former board member, well, maybe you know it now as Muse.
Muse,
it's what
that's
its
right.
name
Yeah,
is now. So that's probably what you're thinking.
No. I know it as New Winston Museum.
So yeah, you served on the board with me. I was glad to have you. You are.
I didn't do a very good job, but you told me to come out and do it, and it was me and Michelle McCullough were your recruits that year.
That was, yeah.
We had lunch out on the back of the. Can you believe that the old tavern in Old Salem's closed down? So
that's a shame.
Yeah.
The people that ran that, the Keeper family, just good people and smart and delicious, and oh boy, my dog got into what I was making for dinner.
No.
It's all right.
Okay.
All right, but at least the squeaking stopped.
Okay. I'm sorry. You want to go in and take the camera with you, and you can start making dinner again, and we'll have that kind of show?
I can I can do it. Well, anyway, it's
No.
going to be fine.
All right.
My
So, and yeah, there's been a couple places that have closed, of course, since you've were last here. We'll try and talk about some of those. But all right. So then, after
so
New Winston Museum, you went where?
Southeastern Center for Contemporary Art,
Right.
and
And then came
then I moved to California.
Yeah. And so I think this is really cool. What are you doing now?
So now I work for Oakland Symphony. I am their director of operations and finance,
Right.
and it's wonderful. It's good.
Mm.
I've seen two performances.
Right.
I started work on March the 4th of this year,
Right.
so I only got a week in the office before we had to shut down.
Now they ain't as good as the Winston-Salem Symphony, are they?
You know, it's different.
Okay.
I would say that they're
You
both
know where you
world
live.
class. I know they're both world class.
Right.
The Oakland Symphony, one thing that I really love about it is that our repertoire is unusual and focusing on a lot of women composers and people of color
Right.
composers, and it's good.
Right.
And I love Oakland. Oakland is very much, sometimes it feels like to me like a southern city because
Okay.
people are friendly, unlike San Francisco.
What are y'all doing? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, people talk to each other, and
Right.
a lot of outdoor spaces for people to congregate and visit. I really like it here, and it's about 75 degrees about 3/4 of the year.
Well, you know, it's like the greatest job of all time is to be the weatherman in San Diego. It's 70 degrees and sunny. You know, you're going to be right 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my cousin is an attorney in San Francisco,
Oh, okay.
and I was out
I'm
there.
sure he's nice.
Huh?
I'm sure he's nice.
Oh, he's nice. And and my fraternity little brother lives out there as well.
Yeah.
And so I was out there and went to Chili House, which is where you can get the Peking duck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I invited everybody to come out to dinner, and it was me and a buddy, and I ate so bad. I think it was a bad scene, but love the
There's
city.
amazing food out here.
Right. Love the city, but I think
Yeah.
that you're absolutely right. Oakland is just so different, and so
Hmm.
you have all the amenities with none of the problems.
Well, we have
Some
a
of the
lot
problems.
of, we have, and of course, since COVID, it's gotten worse, but we have a really terrible homeless problem.
Right.
And the city has different methods of which to try to solve it, and it's not enough of any of it. Uh, so you will see tent cities, everywhere.
It's a lot different than when you're driving down Peters Creek Parkway and you might see like 3 or 4 people that may have crawled up underneath an underpass. It
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
all of Haynes Mall parking lot looking tent cities.
It's a public health just nightmare. So yeah. So that's a problem in the city. People are not really great about trash out here.
Mhm. But you got recycling there. So I mean, it's California. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do, but I mean, no one likes, like Wendy's bags everywhere. Anyway, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say bad about Oakland.
Let's talk about
The A's are great.
Huh?
The A's are great. Too
Okay.
bad they didn't come through, but I love them.
Well, what I wanted to talk to you about is the reason why you're here, and that is your love of people and your love of Winston-Salem and your love of helping. The impetus to all this was, you and I had a conversation a couple of days, about a week or so ago about it. But then what really kicked it off of calling you and going, all right, you're going to be on the show was you missed home.
I missed home. I do,
What do
man.
you miss about Winston-Salem?
So I have friendships there that span, like with you. I mean, just like a lifetime.
Right.
And I guess with COVID, so I was homesick a lot, like when I first moved, and then after the thing happened, I got homesick again, and I thought
And then
about
after
moving
the
home.
job happened, and
After the
I mean,
job thing, blah
all
blah
great
blah.
things going for you. How could you be down?
Yeah, I forgot to mention the reason that I stayed here in California, and it was because my daughter got accepted to UC Berkeley, and that was amazing. And
Right.
so I'm like,
You're her hero, and she's your hero. I mean,
yeah, she's
and I
amazing.
want to talk about her in a minute too, because I
Yeah.
know she's just awesome. But so what?
So yeah, so that's why we stayed. We're like, we can't leave
Right.
now, you know. So yeah, so I'm
But what do
here.
you
And
miss?
what do I miss? I miss my friendships. I miss familiarity.
Mhm.
And Winston is very much a familiar type of place. I I miss a lot of the businesses. You know, but it's the people that I miss,
Right.
beyond a doubt. I haven't established the networks here that I used to have.
Right.
Um, and it's a bit of a slow process.
Well, any type of connectivity is hard.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
creating um, that trust and love and things like that they take time,
Yeah.
and it's
Especially since I can't do my hobby, which was how I met people, pretty much, go see music.
right.
So when that shut down, I was just kind of like, and it
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I miss the town.
Mhm. Well, tell us about your daughter. What's she doing right now?
Well, right now she's sleeping because she had dental work earlier today.
Okay.
But she is actually getting ready to come home for 2 months. All right,
Not
so
excited at all, right?
I think she is. Yeah,
Oh, you.
me, I'll miss her.
She's
She's
getting ready
bringing
to
her.
come to you? No, to you or to come to Winston?
She's coming to Winston.
Oh, okay. When you said home, I thought she's coming to you.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
sorry.
All right.
Sorry. No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Freudian slip that I called it home, but
No, you called it home 3 or 4 times, so don't worry.
yeah. So she's going to go visit her dad and her grandma and in-laws that all live out there. Good
Right.
family. I miss them. The
Right.
Fosters. Hi.
Right.
And so yeah, she's getting ready to go. She withdrew from Cal this fall semester because it was virtual. She did the last semester half in person and half virtual. And honestly, we could not justify the expense
It's
of the
hard.
virtual. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she decided to take classes at two community colleges,
Right.
one down in Santa Cruz and Berkeley City College. And so she took some classes that will transfer, and it was all of $24.
So I will not say the person's full name. I'll give you the clue. The Waz has a child at FSU, and they're paying out-of-state tuition, and she's living in grandma's garage,
Yeah.
and they're paying out-of-state tuition because obviously they want their daughter to be in
Yeah.
one of the better schools, but
Hmm.
that's hard.
Yeah, we were lucky. We got residency, and my daughter got a lot of good financial aid.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
but even so, it was very
It
hard to
ain't free.
justify.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't free. I've gone on furlough at my
Right.
work, and so it's not much, but it's a 20% pay cut, and
Right.
enough to where this break from not having to pay tuition has been helpful.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of changes. I want you to know that I know you got a strong faith,
Aw.
and it's going to all work out even better in the end. But it just seems like there's been some bumps on you. I hate that you miss us in the sense of that you're homesick, but you're going to be coming back sometime soon and see everybody. And
I will. Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
you're fine. I don't get down.
Oh, I'm not.
I don't think you are.
I let me say, I have great friends here,
Mhm.
and that I really enjoy my job. It fulfills me in a lot of ways, and I got it good.
Huh.
I
Well,
got it
I
good.
still promise you, I'm going to introduce you to my friend out there.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out to him on Facebook and tell him that he needs to at least say hi to you. And he's just a really nice guy
Okay.
um, that's involved with Oakland. So hopefully he's
Hmm.
involved with the symphony. But so let's talk about nonprofits. That's the main
Hmm.
reason that
Yeah.
we're going to talk tonight, because I really want people to understand about getting involved. I asked Bo this question next
Hmm.
week in the future. See, I'm just like, go back in time. But how do you get involved? What are you
Hmm.
looking for as involvement? So as a head of a nonprofit that you've been
Hmm.
several times, you know, funding, time, all these things.
Hmm.
Walk us through what you see we need in the sense of things with the groups that you were involved in and stuff.
Okay. Well, first of all, you asked about, how people get involved. I got involved through volunteering,
Hmm.
and it's a great thing. As someone who hired a lot of people in the nonprofit arena, I would always look to a volunteer first, either someone internally or to a volunteer, because you've established some trust, and about kind of the character that they are typically, just
Right.
by their volunteer work. So I urge people to volunteer. With COVID, I know that's like super difficult, and but whatever you can do, make phone calls or blah blah blah. Um, so what do nonprofits need? So nonprofits are strikingly similar in North Carolina as they are in California. They're the organization that I'm with right now is fortunate to have some city funding. It's not a whole lot, but there is a cultural fund as part of the city of Oakland. And I think that's a really wonderful thing. And so if I was to say, here's what Winston-Salem needs, I think the city needs a call to action with support of the arts. And I'm in favor of a really small tax increase that would grow a fund so that arts groups could, and other social service nonprofits, but I think it would be to the benefit. And that's the thing, Oakland's Alameda County residents, pay taxes, and this is one of the benefits of it, is that we have a program for the city.
Right now, in Louisville, I think it was like $6 or something, but like for every well, like $100, whenever doing the budget, it equivocates out to, I think it's like 50,000 people that lived in Louisville at the time, or 13,000. They put $6 for every person towards Parks Recs and
Yeah.
the activities, like when they did the shows at the thing. I really think that you're right there. I mean, if Winston wants to be the city of arts and innovation,
Yeah.
you got to put some money where the mouth is at arts. And as you said, you enjoyed Tommy's show on here, and
Yeah. There's a ton of city funding, or municipal funding is like, it's necessary in so many ways, and there's so many nonprofits in all sectors that need it and deserve it. And so residents of Forsyth County probably just need to belly up a little bit, and
Right.
if they want a better quality of life, you got to pay for it. So I sound like a Democrat, don't I?
Well, yeah. I did ask Bo the question. I said, is the election going to hurt the financial industry? And he goes, I don't think so. Either way.
Yeah.
So you love people, you care about people. Are there any organizations in Winston that you wish that you really want people to know about or think about or things like that? Because I know that you've been friends with all the.
Yeah. So, I think Forsyth Humane Society is doing a bang up job. And I kind of stay abreast of what they're doing. I think they've made some really smart moves.
Right.
And the collaboration with the county shelter, I think, is smart.
How freaking cool was that?
Back when I was with the Forsyth Humane Society board back in 92 to 94 or something like that.
Right.
There were some talks about a merger, but it was not happening the right way. And so Sarah Williamson, who's the ED over at Forsyth Humane Society, she made it happen. And, I know that she took some heat from different, animal lovers,
Right.
but long term, I think it was what's right for the city.
Mhm.
See, who else is doing a great job? There are a lot of, I've been really pleased to see during the Black Lives Matter movement, some of the new nonprofits that are popping up to address social justice issues. And I'm really impressed by those because they are being led by young people.
Right.
And really happy to see that because there's not typically that level of involvement with nonprofits.
Right.
Uh,
It's getting
so
the millennials involved.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, just my perceptions. I've been impressed with that. What else? There's so many great nonprofits. I got to give a shout out to the Shalom Project.
Right.
And
Just
I
had
used
their
to be a member.
fundraiser.
What?
They just had their fundraiser for the what's in the last month of sitting on the block of ice. They did it
Oh yeah.
virtually. Yeah.
Yeah.
The big
They do wonderful work in the community, and my ex-husband works there, and I'm a big fan of what they do.
Okay.
I like the neighborhood-based organizations a lot.
Right. I was
Yeah.
exposed to Love Out Loud. I didn't even know about them. I
Yeah.
like them. I think they're cool. Yeah.
That's the assembly. Is it?
I don't
When
know
I
much
recall,
about
it was like just like a big kind of festival celebrating a bunch of different churches and
this is a group that's kind of almost like a I think I probably ought to have Lou Baldwin talk about it. I think it's more of, I almost kind of said it was like another type of United Way of Charities and
yeah, that's totally what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a celebration of stuff in our city that was building a better community.
Right, and they get together
Yeah.
and like do coffees and stuff and talk about racial injustice and all that stuff. So this week, three things have happened this week that one of them you probably don't know, and that is North Carolina Realtors have met and had our big meeting, and we've reissued a new diversity and inclusion statement.
Awesome.
And the last line of it is racism and discrimination have no home in North Carolina.
Love it.
I just,
Thank y'all
what
for
a
doing
powerful
that.
message as that. I love it when a nonprofit can basically nail it home with what they're trying to say. The less than 1 year superintendent of schools just resigned today.
I saw that.
Yeah. Are you reading journalnow.com or something here?
Honey, I'm so tapped into Winston-Salem.
What's going on? And then you saw about
no, I get notices. I get notices about stuff.
Right. And then the other one
I get notices about Oakland too.
And we talked to Bo about this, and that's the medical center. What is it? The One Health company down in Charlotte, Atrium. Yeah. But Bo told us.
But that's a monopoly
thing.
School
here. Yeah.
Are they saying that it's considered a monopoly or?
No, I know what they're doing is they're going to open a school, Wake Forest School of Medicine down in Charlotte.
Oh.
And the concern is are they going to move the school down there completely?
They better not.
Nuh-uh.
No, no, that can't happen.
I don't think it will. So.
What else? What other nonprofits? So I love. It was beginning to happen when I still lived down there. When I still lived in North Carolina, but what's happening in Innovation Quarter is pretty cool.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, and I particularly love the Warehouse Art Hotel,
right,
and Crankies,
right,
and all the bars and whatnots on that.
The Little Dipper, the Cujo Forgino, however you pronounce it, all the freaking distilleries and breweries and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah,
It
I
changes every
love
day.
that a lot. So I spend a lot of time down there. Probably spend way too much time in bars when I'm at home because that's typically where I meet people. But they also buy me drinks, so that's nice.
Okay. So let me ask you this, then. We'll get to the two hard questions, okay?
Oh,
Yeah, because then you got to go make dinner.
yeah.
So question one is, you've been with Winston for a long time.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to ask you if you're coming back, even though I want you to say yes at some point. But you've been with Winston a long time. Where do you see Winston going? Where do you want it to go?
Wow. I want Winston to continue to evolve, and I would love for the folks that lived further out in Forsyth County to get to know Winston-Salem, and not just work in Winston-Salem, but also do things there. What else? What does Winston-Salem need to do? I don't know. There's a lot. You want me to get controversial? I mean, do you want me? No. So yeah, Winston-Salem can feel claustrophobic sometimes. As much as I miss it, I'm completely, just like uneven with this. There's still a lot of old boy mentality. And as a woman in nonprofits, I always worked around it and I found a way around it, but it's exhausting. And so what I would like to see is the young leadership start to evolve. And still care about people's opinions.
Right.
And I'm not bad mouthing like my Rotarians. Love the Rotary. But it's time for a new female leadership to emerge, and people of color.
And which Rotary Club are you a member of?
Downtown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't meet on like a certain day at 12:30 or anything like that?
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at the convention center.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm in that one too.
I know you were, but you never came. I would sit with you, John, if you came.
I know, but I'm just making sure you're going to say which is the best club in town. I mean, come on, So, Mindy Bloom's always going, well, you ought to come visit with me over here, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. I don't. And Wendy Taylor goes to the one out in Clemens, and I'm ready to go every week right now, but they ain't having it.
I know, that's really sad, and I hate that for all the civic groups that kind of.
Well, I just got what was it from the Masonic Lodge that we're gonna have a Masonic meeting now.
Are you a Mason?
Live. Huh?
Are you a Mason?
Oh yeah, I've been a Mason since 1990.
So you're part of the Illuminati?
So the next question I have to ask you is, and it's really funny because I have a couple people that like, you are, aren't you? And I'm like, I can't really talk about it or friendship, morality, brotherly love. That's all it is, folks. And then, all right, this is the unfun question, and I hate asking it, but I think it really says a lot about someone, and that is, Katherine, what do you want to be remembered for? I know.
Shit. I don't know. Being a good person, like being kind, maybe. Geez. I don't know. That's a good one. Yeah,
You want me to help you out?
Do it.
All right. You care.
Aw.
You put others in front of yourself. You
No.
want everyone to be given the same opportunity to achieve and not be in a situation where they can't because of race, religion, color, national origin, age, familial status, sex, gender, etc., and all of those things.
Yeah.
And you're just a genuinely good person. When I
Thank
was
you.
talking to a couple guests about having you on, they're like, "Oh, we miss her," and she's just good. And so there's your love fest, is that you're a good
Oh,
person, and then I think
thank you.
we'll always. And now we ain't remembering anytime soon, so just so you know. But I mean, I think that's what I would say about you.
I'll be back.
Come,
You weren't going to ask me this question, but I'll say it. Like right now, I'm committed to being here through my daughter's graduation and all that
right.
kind of stuff. I don't have to be, but I feel I would feel better about it.
2 or 3 hours away at maximum. I mean, what Berkeley's like 45 minutes away?
It's like 10 minutes away.
Right, yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
but 2 or 3 hours away somewhere in the state of California is a whole bunch different than 5 hour plane ride and
right.
get there if she needs something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think my long-term plan, which I really don't do long-term plans, but I see myself back in Winston.
You
I'm
don't
going to
swap
buy a cheap house. Johnny, the houses out here. So it is a goal of mine
right,
to purchase a house.
right.
Uh,
How many
my
friends
rate,
you got that are going in on it with you?
yeah, well, none, obviously. I mean,
No, I mean you got to get
yeah,
like 5 people to buy a house out there.
yeah. So my price range for, I would love to stay in my neighborhood. I live in a really great, wonderful neighborhood.
Right,
So the average house around it rarely comes open, but is around 600,000.
right.
I think the average home though in this part, East Bay, is 1.1 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How in the world?
Yeah, it's
A
not.
lot of my friends that live out here live in family homes, and which is nice.
So I think it blows me away. It's like like I was saying, my college fraternity brother lives out there with his partner, and his
Hmm.
partner owns like 3 gyms in Philadelphia, and
Oh,
he just flies home. He flies back once a month to make sure they're doing okay. I mean,
yeah,
there are a lot of people that do that,
yeah,
that live out there and live around the Bay Area, but their jobs are 5 hours away, 6 hours away. I mean, when
yeah,
we were there for the National Realtors Association meeting, they were having people drive in from LA to Uber because they needed
yeah.
more people there.
Wow,
And you would never think about that. That's like the equivalent of going from here to Nashville.
right. It is. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, no. I mean,
No, it's not
yeah.
even that. It's from here to Orlando.
Down to LA is probably like a 7-hour trip.
Okay. So it is to Nashville in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'd never think
Um,
about driving there to work for the weekend
right.
to Nashville from Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The markets here are big. San Francisco was a huge market. It's really interesting to see what COVID has done to San Francisco, though.
I'm interested to see what it's going to do to New York City. Now with
Hmm.
Broadway being put off a little bit longer and all that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
did get someone in our class in our school reached out to me earlier today, and I'm going to meet up with them on Saturday. They have a family member that has a house to sell,
Hmm.
so I'm kind of that was kind of neat to catch up and hear from somebody.
Well, cool. Do I know this person?
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't say.
I
It's a
I don't
client
talk
thing. I get
I
it.
don't talk
Okay.
about it on the air, but no, well, yeah. So it's not like it's a big secret, but I try not to say too much. That's somebody's
Okay.
greatest asset. But uh, I don't know. I want you to come back because I think you do a great job and you really get people motivated around a nonprofit. So get her out of school
I,
back over here.
I have thought about what I would do if I came back. And John, before I left Winston-Salem,
Mhm.
I had actually was interested in commercial real estate
Right,
and being somebody who knows nonprofits and working specifically with nonprofits to kind of help them
right.
navigate those kind of needs. It'd probably be, not a lot of work, but I might be ready to do something for profit.
Oh, wait a minute now. Yeah,
And and do my due diligence.
you put your time in.
Running an organization is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a golden parachute. Come on now, right?
Yeah. Ideally, I would be a professional volunteer, but I don't know, how I would arrange that. So
I understand. Hey, so I'm gonna stop recording here in just a second, but I want to say who our sponsor is and who's been sponsoring Camel City Chat some, and see if you've ever heard of this. The name of the organization is called Smitty's Notes.
Oh, hey Jeff. Yay.
So just a great organization. Jeff and I are friends, and he's kind enough to put the Camel City Chat episodes up on
Excellent.
Smitty's Notes, and I just wanted to say that so that you could do it. I forgot to do it with Bo, and of course Bo and he know each other from way back, but
yeah.
So check out Smitty's Notes, and folks, as you we just want to say, Katherine, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate it. You were so kind to ask me.
No, I really appreciate it. And folks, what I need for you to do is like, subscribe, and find us on all these different venues, and we'll be back with another episode of Camel City Chat here next week. And of course, our guest is going to be Bowman Gray the Fourth. All right. So thank you, Katherine White. Good luck, and we were going to talk.
Thank you, John.
All right.